What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, the Colts players came to training camp today, and so training camp first practice will start tomorrow. The football is basically back, guys. Super excited for this time of year now. So much excitement, regardless of how you feel about how the season's going to go. Football is back. I'm so happy. I can't wait. We're going to go ahead and bring up a couple of these things here. And there was a lot of talk about Chris Ballard today. If you guys are wanting to see that, I'm going to do a separate live stream reacting to that presser. So make sure to check that out as well. There was a lot of great sound bites from that. I can't wait to talk about that as we go on. But I'm going to go ahead and hop into some other things here, talk about some individual things that were talked about from some individual players outside of Chris Ballard. Talking about JT, says the QB competition has a huge impact on how the running backs operate. Said whoever is back there with us, we need to make sure that we mesh with them. We need to make their job as easy as possible. There were some great sound bites from Michael Pittman today. Michael Pittman actually, because Phillip Rivers announced that he will be retiring as a Charger, which is fantastic news because obviously he retired originally with the Indianapolis Colts after the 2020-2021 season. And they asked him what Michael Pittman took away from his rookie year with QB Phillip Rivers. He was talking about like the kids. Obviously, Phillip Rivers has a ton of kids. Michael Pittman says he wants to have 7 kids, and his wife says that she wants to have 4. So, needless to say, Michael Pittman and his family want a very big family. I think they said they're actually expecting child number 3. So, that's awesome for the Pittman family. And obviously, with that big contract he just got, I mean, that's definitely going to be plausible to be able to do that sort of thing. So, very funny there, to say the least. Said that he is back and is fully healthy after fighting the physical and mental battles of the back pain last season. Says he's ready to prove again what he's capable of. So, great to see. Great to hear that he is, being back to being the healthy Michael Pittman that we remember, because we obviously saw what he was able to do last year, almost put up 1,000 yards, even with a really bad back. So really good to see him doing that. Zaire Franklin also talked today. He was asked about, the fans and their feelings about what this team needs to do and whatnot. And he said that they're upset and they're demanding. Says he feels the intensity from Colts fans to have success this season. He added in he was inspired by the Pacers' run to the NBA Finals and wants to bring the same chemistry to that situation. And it is kind of funny too. It is kind of funny just hearing that sort of thing come from Zaire Franklin, because again, we are very demanding as fans, because, and he mentioned how, and, the guys mentioned how, the Colts haven't been back to the playoffs in 4 years. And, for a guy like Zaire who, talks about how, they're demanding and we're trying to get, back onto the right frame of mind and, how to embrace the frustrations of the fan base. Yeah, because, in part ways, a lot of times we've been talking about it, how we've wondered if, Zaire Franklin, of a lot of people, is one of the guys that takes that seriously, right? We talked about a bunch of last season with, does he really take it seriously enough? Because, he had that whole issue with Pat McAfee and, and he's been saying on Twitter all this about his tackle numbers and, I do my job, I get my tackles, blah, 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 blah. And, we're talking about the Pro Bowls and stuff like that, when everyone else is just talking like, we don't care about your stats. We care about winning. We care about winning. We want this team to make it to the playoffs for the first time in nearly half a decade. And you talking about your stats, right? Like, we don't care about your stats when this team had a losing season and you talking about your Pro Bowl. Like, no, ain't nobody care about that. We just want this team to do something for itself. So I hope that from what we're hearing from all these guys is that, maybe there's something that we'll actually see this year. James Boyd even also said Zaire Franklin, and he did have ankle surgery. So said that he won't be available for the start of camp, but he said he's pleased with his progress, but there is no timetable on his return. So ultimately right now we don't know about Zaire Franklin. Obviously will not be around for the start of this, and really hope that Zaire will be able to take these mental reps and learn in Lou Anarumo's defense while not being out there. I really hope that we'll be able to see him within a few weeks, right? Because we don't want him to miss the entirety of the summer and not have the ability to, get implemented in this system. So certainly hope that that is the case, that we'll see him back soon. But right now, we don't know when Zaire Franklin's going to be back. And the few things I will say about the one thing I will say about the Chris Ballard thing, stating before I do my live. So when you see this, the live will have already happened. Just go onto our YouTube channel, watch my reaction. We'll discuss it all there. But he did say that Anthony Richardson is a full go. Said the only limitation he will have is the volume of throws that they will have on him at the start of training camp. He says that as far as how much, where he can throw, how he can throw, all that other stuff, and like doing like drills and stuff and everything else, that stuff is fine. They said that they're just going to at times limit how much else he can do outside of the practices. As far as, the actual practices go, it doesn't sound like he's going to have any volume issues, but they do want to limit his volume a little bit at the start so that, there won't potentially be some more aggravation in the shoulder like what he had earlier this offseason. But as far as, any limitations on Anthony Richardson, doesn't sound like there really is any. So glad to hear that, saying that he's good to go and that he will start out at the beginning of training camp and, be front row center with everyone else. So glad to hear that. And I'm super excited for when we get to see more from these guys. I'm honestly surprised we didn't really hear much from a Daniel Jones or an Anthony Richardson today, but certainly hope that we'll get a chance to hear from them here soon. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Football's back! Thank you, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'm super excited. Let's do it. Thank you so much. And as always,